Very warm welcome to everyone. And regarding this video, I have no prior preparation except for all the information that I have been consuming for quite a while, keeping in view all the development that is happening in the world of AI, of which we are an essential part, an essential component, and basically the primary source of information is the internet. And by internet, I mean all the resources that are available in a textual form or in a video form. But now you can clearly accept, and without denying it, the fact is that AI has also become part of your cell phone, and it's kind of monitoring all your activity, the day spent by you, your preferences, the places where you go, the stuff that you eat. So, AI algorithms are kind of monitoring each and everything to determine and to decide what to show you, how to show it to you on your mobile phone or on your laptop. So, all these things are redesigning and configuring your life through technology that you're using from day to day basis. I was also going through different videos and some blog posts. I've gone through some books also. I've been part of some national and international conferences. And from that, I have realized that this thing is really the hashtag, the top trends, the main topics of discussion, the main theme of various national and international conferences. I got the opportunity of discussing major questions that were popping within my mind. I listened to the different questions that were popping in the scholars' mind, the faculty's mind, as well as the engineers who are basically developing, or rather, I'll say, playing a very influential role in evolving this technology, trying to make it self aware, trying to make it more sentient, more conscious. I'm not sure, and I can't say with confidence that they are whether successful in this homework or prime objective or not. At least for now, I can't say that. But in a couple of years' time, you never know. Just the way we are getting breakthrough through different AI technologies, AI companies, OpenAI, Google, or DeepSeek, you probably would have heard of it. So, keeping in view all this development and this AI warfare that is ongoing globally, we may see a breakthrough in the upcoming days also. So, you never know. Let's wait and see. But there were the main primary focus of my today's video, the reason why I thought of coming online after a very long time was the things that were developing, and I thought of giving or trying to create a social scientific perspective, a social scientific point of view in terms of viewing AI or trying to interpret or explicate or decipher the way this new technology is developing, emerging in our lives one way or another. And there are a few things that I kind of, you know, jotted down also so that I may not forget about. I may keep some of the keywords within a piece of paper in case I forget. But the first one, of course, is there within my mind that, there is always a big question as to the kind of jobs which will be affected or the kind of employment opportunities that will be created. And the general answer that we get for this question is that if we divide, employment opportunities into the white collar and the blue collar, one way or another, blue collar uh, jobs are the ones that are the prime victim of this technology. The way it develops, the way it evolves, it's going to create more trouble for these blue collar job opportunities or blue collar employment opportunities. And in simple words, if I talk about the white collar or the blue collar, something that involves your brain gives you or categorizes you in that white collar employment, because basically one way or another your neural networks are being challenged. You are made to think, you are made to think out of the box, and when you are made to think out of the box, the basic thing that is happening is thinking. As long as you are thinking, as long as you are doing problem solving, you're doing logical and rational analytical reasoning, you are, you know, evolving. You are trying to transcend from your earlier form. And this is which is at the very primitive phase, I'll say, in case of the artificial intelligence, for which the developers are trying to, insert or integrate reinforced learning so that AI may be able to reach at a level in which we may call it or we may consider it as AGI or artificial general intelligence. But still, I guess it's a long way, and it'll take a while, it'll take some time when we reach this position. But right now, what I'm hearing is that the ultimate goal is to, see it develop into something that we can call as artificial super intelligence. So this AGI and then ASI, there is a lot of stuff that is happening. But from a social scientific perspective, of course, right now I'm a viewer. I'm trying to understand, of course, as a linguist, that is also one of my major domain. I was thinking where I can play my part, where I can contribute, or by I mean all the linguists, all the social scientists. So there are various ethical considerations within which your contribution can play a pivotal role, where these developers would certainly need your help to simply, take the right direction in terms of developing this technology, in terms of honing, sharpening, designing, and developing this AI so that it may not let itself loose on the entire humanity. We do not want to threaten our future. We rather would like to see this technology becoming part of us, becoming our extensions, extending our arms and legs. And by arms and legs, I mean we are able to do those things that were earlier impossible for us to do. Many of the tasks that would take us hours, days, weeks, and months can be done in a very short span of time. So, in that sense, if it is allowing us with its automaticity, the completion of task in a short span of time, in that way, of course, it's a good thing. But on the other hand, if that thing was being done by some individual that was once an official position, by the way, we all know and are well aware of this term computer used for a device. It used to be an official position for an individual. A human being like you and me would be a computer sitting in an office doing all the computation, which is now being done by a machine. So, what I'm saying is that if it kinds of threatens individual job positions by its development and by its advancement, so this is kind of alarming situation for us. And therefore, I would like to move towards my second point, and that is that as long as this thing is being used, this thing is being modified, this thing or human intelligence, human intellect is evolving, developing, getting more advanced, you're on the safer side. But the moment you would like to move in a circular path where you are not doing any kind of problem solving, where you're not doing any kind of creative thinking, analytical, logical reasoning, then you are simply putting yourself in trouble, because every circular path will be taken over by this technology. It becomes advanced with every passing day. It tries to solve problems, including like giving you the example of this chess, let's say. So the way you and I will learn the game, AI can do this thing far more faster, learning all the moves, and it would be able to simply defeat us within a short span of time. This is just one example that came, or that rather I'll say popped up in my mind. So be mindful and make sure that one way or another you find a way to develop your intellect, make it advance, uh, keep thinking, keep doing problem solving, develop new neural networks that I talked about in one of my earlier videos. As long as you are using your neurons to solve problems, doing deep thinking, you are on the safer zone. And if your job, let's say, is all based on the use of your intellect, your neurons, and your neural networks, then certainly you are on the safer path. Because on the back end side, if you talk about all the developers that are simply integrating all the codes or the algorithms on the basis of which this technology is evolving, so the reason they are on the safer side is because of being the developer of this technology at the first place. So if one way or another you are also contributing in the development of this technology, so I guess you're also playing an important part, making the other realize your significance as well. So having said that and talked about these 2 points, yeah, so rather I've talked about it a couple of minutes ago, but you know, um, simply be thankful of being human, because the fact that you're already blessed with being sentient, being blessed with senses, being blessed with emotional intelligence, which are the things that are being, integrated, incorporated. Developers are coming up, or engineers are coming up with ways in which they are trying to teach AI and to understand human emotions. That is in itself a separate domain that we call as the sentiment analysis. That is all based on the understanding of human sentiments. So that is one aspect with which you are already blessed. So these are the things, as long as these things are there within you, or rather I'll say you are using them, or you are able to use all these things, you are apart from this technology that is developing. And I don't see this thing to be integrated within AI in a very quick or short span of time. It'll take a while. It needs lots and lots of human data to be able to differentiate between uh, happiness and sadness, anger and frustration and ecstasy. So these things takes time. We are blessed with it. Of course, our data came from the natural conversation that we used to have with our family and friends and everywhere. But right now, all this data is gradually and steadily being fed to these AI technologies. They are getting it all from the internet, using, of course, our input, our conversation. It's going through that detailed conversation that we are having on different social media networks, that we are trying to have officially, and on the basis of that it's trying to become more intelligent in terms of understanding all these things. But I guess there is still a space within which you can be at a higher position compared to the AI, as long as you are evolving, which is the case that you are evolving. So you'll always maintain a distance, and you'll have an upper edge over this technology, and it'll help you, it'll integrate within you to make you an advanced version of yourself. And yeah, the reason why I'm saying all this, um, this is something that we talked about in a conference also with some of the other engineers as well as faculty members. They talked about it, rather, the concept of hallucinations. So in the AI's world, we talked about these hallucinations, which are basically all the bullshit, all the crap that AI comes up with so much confidence, and the way it talks about it, the way it says it, the way it shares all this. I simply say it as disinformation, because we can make, misinformation. We can commit misinformation. We may share some statistics thinking as though, where we were supposed to say the number 10, we may say maybe 9 or 11. So there is some slight error that we are accidentally making. But the way it shares or spreads disinformation, the thing that never happens, and the way it says it. So I have also done experiment, many of you would have done it also, the way it simply shares inaccurate data with so much confidence. So I call it bullshit, many people call it BS, but basically in AI's term, it's the hallucination. So unless and until there is a check on this AI hallucination, there is always going to be an upper edge for you over this AI technology, because it'll be solely based on what you create, what you say, what you present to this technology. And that is why it is always, trying to self evolve on the basis of all the information and the conversation that we are having. So, whenever you're trying to even communicate with this technology, do remember this thing in mind, that technology is learning from you. On one hand, you think as though you are learning from the technology. Yes, it is providing you immediate answers on one hand, but as I told you just now, that much of the information is based on apocryphal data, quite fallacious. It's untrue. Whereas the kind of data in the form of the questions that you were asking this technology, so it's learning from you. And there was one experiment that I did alongside with my family where I asked it to, uh, teach us an international language. You can think of any language, it could be Turkish or German or Arabic or French or any. And then it created a lesson and started, saying those expressions. And all of a sudden, I saw a change in the intonation patterns, and that really caught my attention as a linguist. Why are the intonation patterns changing? Whenever this AI would say the words in that other foreign language, sometime it would speak in a low voice. All of a sudden, the pitch would go so high. That was so surprising, and I thought it really caught my attention. I said, "Yeah, this can be an area of investigation. I'll certainly try to figure it out once I'm done with my PhD studies. So this can be something for my postdoc." So yeah, these were the things that really were, circling within my mind while I was trying to use my neural networks. I have a plan to dive deeper to understand this technology even more. On one hand, yeah, understanding it. On the other hand, trying to make it better. If it can assist us, if it can be a smart assistant to help us do things fast, in that sense, I, as a linguist, will try to give it the accurate and more comprehensive linguistic data on the basis of which this thing can evolve. So I'll try to be on the creator's side rather than making this technology my master to teach me each and everything, and I am blindly believing on each and every PS that it is conveying to me. So this shouldn't be my role. This shouldn't be your role either. You should know where you stand, and you should make this technology your assistant rather becoming its own. So that is all what I had to say. And if I have some more information to share, I'll certainly come back again. I'll try to be quick, but for now, yeah, I was consuming more information to have sufficient data so that I can share it with you. So if you like it, yeah, you can share it with others. Or if you have something to say, more than welcome.